بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
What if the swords of Karbala had sung victory for Imam Husayn alayhi salam? What if the Euphrates flowed freely, not with blood but with justice? What if the sky did not darken with grief that day? What if Abbas Alamdar had returned not with severed arms but with the banner of victory? What if the angels had descended as they once did at the battle of Badr, and the army of Yazid had crumbled into dust and disgrace? What if Imam Husayn alayhi salam would have stood not as a king but as the grandson of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the true inheritor of divine justice, the light of Zahra's womb, the lion of Ali's sword? He would have led the Ummah into a new dawn, one without corruption, without oppression and without deceit. What if Abbas Alamdar had been granted permission to fight alongside Imam Husayn, and together both could have shaken the foothold of Yazid's army? And Abbas Alamdar, the moon of Bani Hashim, would have stood tall as the flag bearer of justice, his arms whole, his soul unscarred, his legacy a warrior who conquered not just the battlefields but also the hearts of nations. And the smile of Bibi Sakina alayhi salam, and the shield of his sister Sayyida Zainab alayhi salam. Yazid's throne would be rubble, the Umayyad crown buried under the sands of truth. Under the leadership of Ahlul Bayt, the peace and generosity would have been at the highest summit. The poison of tyranny purged. The schools of knowledge would rise sooner. The wilaya of Ahlul Bayt would shine across lands. Maybe, just maybe, the final Imam, Imam al-Mahdi, would have come sooner, for the path would have been paved not with blood but with victory. But the reality is different. That is not what Allah wanted. Allah did not want a victory of the sword, but He wanted a victory of sacrifice. Allah chose for Imam Husayn alayhi salam to die alone after losing all the men of his family, one after the other, knowing that the women and the children of his household will have to go through hell after him. Allah chose for Imam Husayn alayhi salam to die with about 1900 arrows, 12 spears, 5 axes and 3 swords in his body, facing that kind of brutality and hatred from the army of Yazid. And yet, Imam Husayn fought for Islam until Allah chose for him to be beheaded. Allah chose for Abbas Alamdar to fall so loyalty could rise eternal. Allah chose the young warriors like Ali Akbar ibn Hussain, Qasim ibn Hassan, on Muhammad ibn Jafar al-Tayyar to be martyred even before they completely reached adulthood. Allah chose the infant son of Hussain, Ali Asghar alayhi salam, to be martyred even before he could crawl. Allah chose Imam Hussain, his family and all the martyrs of Karbala to fight without food and water, hungry and dehydrated for 4 days, in the scorching heat of the desert sands. Allah chose to show the world the resilience of the women who were put through torture and humiliation through the streets of Sham. Why? So that Islam could live forever. because Karbala was not just a moment in time. It became the eternal compass of truth, a blood-written contract that every time oppression rises, a Hussain must stand. That every time injustice reigns, Karbala must echo again. Imam Hussain could have won at Karbala, but he would then belong to history. Instead, they all chose martyrdom, so they could belong to eternity. And now, every day is Ashura, every land is Karbala, and every heart that stands for truth is a soldier in Imam Husain's army. Our Prophet ﷺ said, "Indeed, Husain is the lamp of guidance and the ark of salvation."
Hussain, Hussain.